G'day viewers, it's the end of another week. Time for Totally Fucked Up Friday. And whoa, didn't it all go to shit in Australia this week? For those of you who don't know, there was a really quite nasty incident where a young man who was a terror suspect was invited by some cops to go down to the station. The exact details of what happened are still under investigation, but the upshot is he ended up attacking two cops with a knife and got shot dead. Those are the only unequivocal facts in the matter. That has not stopped the media from just going to town on invented details. If you want to know what's actually being confirmed, you could do worse than follow the announcements from the police commissioner, Ken Lay, who has repeatedly said, could you stop making shit up? We're doing a proper investigation and we're not leaping to these massive conclusions. And the anti-Islam bigots will be instantly going, oh, no, just apologising. Oh, it's got to cut their heads off. Ken Lay has specifically and categorically said the police have no evidence that this guy went to meet the cops with the intention of decapitating anyone. Because the knife he attacked them with was quite small. Then there was reference to he had another knife. And I've already seen people go, it was a machete! He had a machete! Cops going, no, he didn't. You know, whether this guy was just mentally unstable, whether he was motivated by his own concept of jihad, fucked up shit has happened without a doubt. But the media has just gone on with it. Oh, he was planning to decapitate him. Cop said, well, no, not really. There's no evidence to support that. And they're now obsessing about, oh, was he with someone? Someone gave him a lift. That's a fairly terrorist thing to do. And yes, honestly, anytime one of my mates has given me a lift anywhere, I have assumed they had criminal intent behind that. Because it's not things that people do. Like, if someone does something bad, I immediately assume every single person they ever spoke to is equally as bad. That is the brain-dead shit the media are pushing out. It makes it really hard to work out who's actually bad people when they spout this shit about everyone is bad people. And it spiraled into so many stupid fucked up things, like a story circulated within about a day of this stabbing shooting that a guy who was with the Australian Defence Force got attacked by two men of Middle Eastern descent. And again, the tabloids in particular were like, oh, they're attacking our soldiers. It's crazy. It's race war. It's jihad. That guy was lying. The Defence Force has apologised for the circulation of that fake story. So, you get this, you ignorant, bigoted fucks? Yes, we are in a situation where bad things can happen. But with relation to this guy who got shot, the police have categorically said there's no evidence to suggest he went there with the intent to decapitate anyone. And the ADF personnel got attacked was lying, okay? Not, oh, he's glossing over and he's trying to back up. No, he lied. The ADF issued a formal apology, okay? And I'll give you a link down there to stuff that has been happening. What has been unequivocally happening is attack after attack on people who are or are perceived to be Muslim. That's what has been happening. Women being attacked, people being abused in the street, prayer centres and mosques being attacked. Some fuckwit showed up to a school with a knife and started threatening people, threatened a teacher and a kid because it was a Muslim school. That's what's actually happening. So when the government paints this shit about, oh, look, the terrorists, this is the natural fucking outcome, okay? And anyone who wants to go, oh, go back to where you came from, fuck you, okay? If someone is actually doing something illegal, if someone actually wants to hurt people, fuck them, let the law come down on them hard. But if you're out there inciting bigotry and violence against people just because you reckon you're right, fuck you as well, okay? Fuck you in the fucking neck, you bigoted pieces of shit. And that's all I'll say on that for the moment, because there's not much else evidence. It's going crazy. But that, as bad as that is, honestly doesn't feel like the worst developments in Australia this week. The worst developments is a succession of laws that are being proposed that just kind of make us seem like post-World War II East Germany with the Stasi spying on everything. In simple terms, the laws that are being proposed for our spy agency, ASIO, do the following things. With a single warrant, they could be allowed to surveil the entire internet, because the wording of the law categorically says not just they can spy on a computer, they get a warrant that allows them to spy on any computer network. And as many people have observed, the internet is basically just a big computer network. And the wording of the law does not seem to be a mistake or a coincidence. This is to justify them doing whatever the fuck they want. Like the law that protects them from prosecution of the outcome of anything they do, short of actually killing someone or committing a sex crime or serious injury. It was everyone, every legal scholar has gone, that is worded to specifically allow them to torture people and not have to face punishment afterwards. And the Attorney General's going, so you're not cool with the whole torture? Well, I might change that. It just never occurred to me that if I put a law in place that was specifically allowing people to torture, anyone might think that's a bad idea. And so, okay, so they can surveil everything, they can do whatever, they can't be prosecuted. Also, they can just arbitrarily, with no oversight, declare any of their operations secret in that no one's allowed to know about them. They can do that at any time. And if anyone then tells the public about this operation, they can go to jail for up to 10 years. That's like whistleblowers or journalists who repeat it. And the way the law is worded, if you actually shared a link on social media, you could be prosecuted. Okay, so we've got an agency who can do anything to anyone whenever they want, with no oversight. They can declare anything they want secret, and they can jail anyone who tells you what they've been doing. Does anyone see potential for abuse here? We are not facing an existential threat. And this hyperbole goes a little bit more in the US than it has been in Australia, but only a little. Like when you hear these people like Lindsey Graham saying this ridiculous stuff, they're going to come here and kill us all. No, they're fucking not. You're a moron. Why would you say that? And one of the Democrats saying, like, it's literally impossible to exaggerate the threat. They can melt our brains with their psychic powers. Do you see what I did there? I exaggerated the fucking threat. Don't say things that are that fucking stupid. You know what? I think we should be involved in some action against these Islamic State fuckwads, because they are killing, murdering and raping people, and it's our fucking fault. It's our intervention in the Middle East that created this situation. The people who don't see cause and effect, the people who don't acknowledge that the West literally created Osama bin Laden. They funded him and gave him the weapons, made him a radical, and then he just changed his mind. I don't hate Russia anymore, now I hate America. And if you hadn't have knocked off Saddam, there's no way these Islamic State fuckos would exist. It's just crazy, the idea that you can interfere and do this shit and not face repercussions. And then, the lie of saying if we take action against IS, it won't increase the risk to Australia. Of course it will. You will upset some people who are fuckwits, and you do raise the risk. But that's not a reason to not do it. I can't stand this government lies and treating people like fucking children. I have this bizarre fantasy that one day governments will actually be run by grown-ups who don't talk shit, who are willing to speak to people like they also have a fucking brain. I know it's a fantasy, but I read a lot of fantasy fiction as well. I think I'm more likely to get elves and orcs than governments that are run by adults and treat the population like adults. And for all those people who go, if you're not doing anything bad, you don't have anything to worry about. Why do you care what ASIO does? They'll only do this to bad people. We have already had government MPs. There's a guy in Queensland, which is like Australia's Florida, George Christensen, a national MP, saying in a speech to Parliament, green activists are the worst terrorists. He literally said green activists are worse than Islamic terrorists, and he wants to use these laws against them. Do you see why I don't fucking like this shit now? Because these pricks abuse their power, and we are letting them right into the law. They can do what they want, when they want, to whoever they want, and jail anyone who fucking questions them.